The thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, Rocky and Bullwinkle's attempts to find a rocket fuel to take them to the moon has certainly raised a fuss, especially on the moon itself.
We moved to the dark side just to get away from those peeping toms and their telescopes. Now they're going to come right on up.
We must stop them.
So the moon men selected two of their hardiest adventurers and sent them down to Earth with only one mission, to stop our heroes from finding the formula. And so when a hypnotized Bullwinkle recited his recipe for Grandma Moose's fudge cake, even to a sleeping audience...
Can I scrooge him now, Gidney?
Yes, Clyde. Scrooge him now.
As the mysterious ray struck Bullwinkle, he was instantly frozen solid, stiff as a board. So that's what it was like to be Scrooged.
Where do we put it?
Let's take it home in our flying saucer.
The moon men had scarcely left the room when Boris woke up.
Go on. I didn't miss a word. Where did he go? Oh, there he went. Hey, you, come back with my moose.
But he knows the formula. We gotta take him along.
Don't be foolish. You missed the brains of the outfit.
The brains? Who's that?
The squirrel. He knows the formula, too.
He does?
Do I look like a liar? Don't answer. You go get him. I'll mind your moose for you.
The moon men dashed back to where Rocky and Natasha were still dozing.
All right, everybody up.
Ooh! It's all right, lady. They're just plain ordinary moon men.
Which one of you is the brains?
I am.
Because if you are, we're gonna scrooge you.
She is.
Which one is the squirrel?
That's me. Where's Bullwinkle?
We're taking him with us. You too. Come on.
Bye-bye, darling. Have a nice trip.
It looked bad, but Rocky's nimblewits were hard at work.
Okay, we'll go, but it does seem a shame to miss the party.
Party?
Sure. The government always throws a big party for visiting spacemen.
With paper hats?
And noisemakers?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could wait a little while.
Of course, we need our entertainment, Chairman.
Who's he?
My pal, Bullwinkle.
Oh, that's easy. We left him right... He's gone.
Sure enough, the wily Boris had stolen Bullwinkle and was at that moment heading for a lonely house high on a hill.
He can't go far. That moose was Scrooged.
Scrooged?
How long did you scrooge him for, Cloyd?
The dial said 8.
8 what?
I don't know. It's either 8 hours or 8 years.
Well, Bullwinkle was still frozen solid and Boris couldn't loosen him up. Then exactly 8 hours later...
Ooh.
You're conscious.
No, I'm Bullwinkle. Where am I?
This is your new laboratory. I am your new assistant. Shall we get to work?
Well, let's see. I guess so. 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon salt. You taking all this down?
Yes. Could you speak a little louder? I'm rather hard of hearing.
Oh, certainly. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Little did Bullwinkle know that Boris's hearing aid was in reality a powerful shortwave transmitter, and that every word he uttered was instantly heard in another country far away by a band of sinister spies. Don't fail to see our next episode, Monitored Moose or the Carbon Copycats.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Once upon a time, there was a shabby little fisherman.
Shabby, but neat.
He lived with his shabby but neat wife on a shabby but neat houseboat in the bay. Every morning, the fisherman kissed his wife goodbye and set out for the sea. One morning, when he was fishing near some odd-looking rocks, he felt a furious tugging on his net. When he pulled it in, he could hardly believe his eyes. He had caught a mermaid, an honest-to-goodness live mermaid.
Oh, joy.
What's so funny, fisherman?
Young lady, you're going to make my fortune. People will pay anything to see a real live mermaid.
But if you take me away from the sea, I'll die of a broken heart.
Are you sure?
It's the usual thing.
Oh, dear, that would never do.
And the fisherman cut his net and freed the mermaid.
Fisherman?
What's the matter? You catch your fins in the net?
No, I've come to repay your kindness.
Oh, that's all right.
I promise to grant you any wish you may ask of me.
Well, I sure do wish this net was mended.
I'll do more than that.
Hey!
And suddenly, the fisherman was holding a beautiful brand-new net.
It's true. Oh, wait till I tell Honey Bun.
That night, the fisherman told his wife all that had happened.
Why, I can hardly believe it.
Say, Turtle Dove, why don't you ask me something?
Oh, I don't know.
Go on.
Well, I could use a new apron.
And so, the next day, at the rocks...
Mermaid, mermaid in the sea, will you grant a wish to me? Little poem I just made up.
What is your wish?
Well, my wife would like a new apron.
I'll do more than that. Go, she has her wish.
When the fisherman arrived home, there stood his wife in a golden gown sprinkled with diamonds.
Oh, it's everything I've ever wanted.
But the next day, the fisherman noticed that his wife seemed moody and discontented.
I feel so silly dressing up in a golden gown to do dishes in a houseboat.
It's a nice houseboat.
It's shabby.
But neat.
I don't care. You must ask the mermaid for a better boat.
I don't think...
But I do. Ask her for a boat. A big boat.
So the fisherman returned to the rocks and requested a bigger boat for his wife.
I'll do more than that. Go, she has her wish.
When the fisherman returned home, he couldn't believe his eyes. In place of the houseboat rode an enormous yacht with diamond-studded smokestacks, ruby-encrusted portholes, a sterling silver anchor chain, and on the bow, a twice life-size figurehead of his wife.
Well, she ought to be happy now.
Milady instructs me to dress you for dinner.
But I'm already dressed.
This way, sir.
Oh, isn't this just delightful? You're as rich as a queen.
But if I could be as rich as a queen, why can't I be a queen?
Oh, come on now.
Go ask the mermaid.
But I can't.
Of course you can. Jeeves.
Yes, milady.
And the fisherman suddenly found himself on his way.
You rang.
It's my wife again. She wants to be a queen.
A queen?
Silly, isn't it?
I'll do more than that. Go, she has her wish.
Well, this time, when the fisherman returned, the yacht was gone, and in its place was a solid gold royal barge. On the shore, he could see a fabulous palace.
Oh, I'll bet Sugar Plum is tickled to death.
Kneel, knave, for Her Highness, Queen Cleopatra.
Cleopatra? Her name is Gertrude.
Silence! I have another wish.
Oh, no.
If I can be a queen of the earth, why not queen of the universe? Tell the mermaid I want to be a goddess.
No, I'm not going to... Well, if you insist, sweetie pie. Mermaid, yoo-hoo.
Again, fisherman.
It's my wife. She wants to be... Oh, I just can't say it.
A goddess.
Uh-huh.
Nearly all your wishes have been heard. Have you no wish of your own?
Why, yes. I just want her to be happy.
I'll do more than that, fisherman. That was your last wish.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Go, your wife is happy.
And when the fisherman returned home, there was his old houseboat, just as it used to be, and waving from the deck was his wife, just as she used to be.
Tell me, honey bun, are you happy?
But of course, what more could I want?
Not even a new apron? That one's pretty shabby.
Shabby, but neat.
The moral of this story is obvious, I think. Be content with what you have, or it takes more than wishes to do the dishes.
Today's lesson is mighty important, remember?
Bullwinkle is a...
Not that lesson. This lesson.
And now for the poetic part of our show, we present Bullwinkle's Corner.
Greetings, culture crowd. Today's poem is an old Greek classic called The Horn. I translate. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep...
Hold it.
What?
I forgot my music. Okay, let's go.
That's kind of a big horn, ain't it?
It's a big part.
Oh. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow. The cow's in the corn.
Boy, that's hard work.
Oh, where is the boy who looks after the sheep?
Don't ask me. I'm a musician myself.
He's under a haystack fast asleep is where, doggone it.
Why'd you call this poem The Horn anyway?
'Cause obviously that's what the little boy blew.
And now it's time...
Time for that jolly juggler, Bullwinkle.
Oh, dear.
3 at once. 1, 2...
And now here's a feature you're sure to like.
3.
Hello again. Peabody here, and you're just in time to accompany Sherman and me on another journey into history.
How far back do we go today, Mr. Peabody?
Back to the year 1797, Sherman, where we join England's most celebrated naval hero, Lord Horatio Nelson, for the Battle of Cape St. Vincent. As is customary with all my inventions, the Wayback Machine performed perfectly, transporting Sherman and me to the main deck of Nelson's flagship.
So Britannia rules the sea, does she? Well, I'm afraid that motto is due to go into extinction.
Pardon us, your lordship, but what seems to be the problem?
You mean you haven't heard?
We just got here.
Well, this blundering crew of mine left port minus one very important commodity.
You forgot to bring cannons?
No.
Ammunition?
No.
What then?
We forgot to cast off.
Sure enough, an unbelievably long hawser held the flagship in check.
Does that rope stretch all the way back to England?
All the way. And unless we get loose, we can't go into battle.
I suppose you've considered cutting it in two?
We've considered it, yes. But you see, Admiralty law frowns on such action. One must cast off, and one must cast off while leaving the dock. Oh, I'm afraid it's hopeless.
Meanwhile, just off the coast, the Spanish fleet lay at anchor.
Look at that silly Nelson.
He is like the sitting duck, yes, my captain?
Yes, like the sitting duck who is at the end of his rope. Tell you what we do. We send him a message.
By George, it's a communication from the enemy. Dear Lord Nelson, you are cordially invited to attend an informal battle staged in your honor at 6 p.m. As ever, the Spanish Navy.
Isn't there something we can do, Mr. Peabody?
There is one thing. Lord Nelson, I suggest you send a dinghy back to England to cast off the hawser.
Impossible. A dinghy would have to make it there by 6 so that we could go into battle. There isn't a man alive who could row that fast.
Mr. Peabody could. He won the International Regatta 3 years in a row.
4 years, Sherman. 4 years. And so, wasting no time, we headed back to England. Unfortunately, upon arrival, we found the dock heavily guarded.
Nelson should know better than to leave port without casting off. It just isn't done. I'll have him broken for this. Yes. Now, remember, no one is to touch that hawser. No one, understand?
Uh-oh. Now what, Mr. Peabody?
This calls for subterfuge, Sherman. Pure, unadulterated subterfuge.
Alt. Who goes there?
Stand aside. It is I, the head of the RRI.
How? Now, off a mo. I never heard of no RRI. What's it stand for?
Royal Rope Inspectors. It's our job to inspect rope, like this one here.
Oh, now take your hands off that there hawser.
It's almost 6, Mr. Peabody. We've got to hurry.
I said take your hands off that hawser. That's Navy property, that is.
Look at this. Intestinal calcification of the fibre.
What's that? Sounds horrible.
Never fear. England will care for your survivors.
My what?
Survivors. You see, unless we get rid of this rope, you're going to become infected and...
Well, get rid of the ratty thing.
And get rid of it we did, just as Big Ben told 6. Of course, the rest is history. Nelson succeeded in sinking the Spanish fleet.
Oh, so Nelson was like the sitting duck, eh?
I think we made a boo-boo, yes, my Captain?
Yes, we made a boo-boo by joining the Navy instead of the Army. Come on, push me into shore.
Later that evening, we returned Nelson's dinghy.
England owes you much, my friends. Goodbye and good luck.
Well, Sherman, shall we go?
Well, I guess so, Mr. Peabody, but I sure am disappointed.
Why is that?
Well, I never did find out why Lord Nelson wears an eye patch.
However, it wasn't a total loss. Sherman did discover something about wrestling. For there, on the poop deck, someone was giving an exhibition. It was Lord Nelson's half-brother. That, of course, is how the term half-Nelson came to be.
In a bottle.
Fan mail from some flounder?
No, this is what I really call a message.
You remember that while Bullwinkle was hypnotized, he named all of the ingredients of a secret rocket fuel. He had already bored Rocky and the 2 spies into a sound slumber, but there were still 2 witnesses to hear him, the Moon Men. Their reaction was quick and to the point. They scrooched Bullwinkle and started off to the moon with him. When Boris saw what was happening, he managed to turn their attention to Rocky while he made off with a moose. When Bullwinkle recovered, he was in a new laboratory with a new assistant who looked remarkably like Boris Badenov and who wore a hearing aid that broadcast directly to a nest of spies in a foreign country. Not only that, but the spies had a laboratory set up to duplicate Bullwinkle's every move.
You're receiving, Hockey?
Okay.
Turn on speaker.
Let's see now. 2 cups of flour.
Got that?
Got it.
A pound of kumquats.
Got it?
Right, Chief.
Shh. Listen.
And now a hatful of vanilla to give it character.
You sure this is chemical experiment?
Well, sure, why?
Sounds more like girls' cooking class.
Uh-oh, he's a smart one. Well, Bullwinkle, what do you do now?
Bullwinkle was a mite embarrassed by not knowing the scientific names of anything until he spotted a chemistry dictionary on a shelf. Quickly, he opened it.
Well, how's this now? 3 ounces of methylene bromide and a cube of diphenophosphate.
That's better. You getting all this?
And now a dozen benzochlorines.
Benzochlorines? But...
Quiet. Do as he says.
Now we'll just pop it into a hot oven for about an hour.
Pop it into... No, not that!
We must follow his directions exactly. Pop it in.
So, obeying Bullwinkle's instructions, the spies put their mixture into the oven. As a result, their laboratory instantly disappeared, while the only result in Bullwinkle's lab was...
Oh, darn. Just another mess of chocolate pan dowdy.
Hello, you receiving me? Hello, fearless leader. Funny they don't answer.
But while Bullwinkle didn't think much of his latest effort, it was doing him a lot of good, for its fragrant aroma drifted out of the window and down the hill and eventually reached the sensitive nose of his best friend.
Hey, smell that?
Smell what?
That delicious aroma.
I don't smell anything.
Cloyd, we don't have noses.
Oh, I forgot for a minute.
But I do, and I'm going to follow it right to Bullwinkle.
And so, over every obstacle, Rocky followed the smell of Bullwinkle's chocolate pan dowdy. It took him right to the house on the hill, but he didn't approach unobserved.
Curses, is that nosy squirrel? I must work fast.
And Boris did work fast, for when Rocky reached the house...
Gee whiz, looks like I was expected. Do not turn back. Go on instead. Your friend the moose is just ahead. Boris shave. 10 feet to moose. Too far. Go back 5 feet. Stand here. Pull rope.
But when Rocky pulled the rope, a trap door opened under him and the plucky squirrel dropped from sight.
See? It pays to advertise.
Don't miss our next episode, Rocky's Dilemma, or A Squirrel in a Stew.
As if our time has just about run out.
Just enough left to tell him who the sponsor was.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop.
Right.
Bye
now. See you next time.